We're talking about New Year's Day being just days away, and with that comes those resolutions that we're all so great at making, but not so good at keeping. So we're talking about that in today's All That and More with WDRC radio host Mary Jones. You've got some great ideas for us. We're going to sort of dissect the whole idea of the whole resolution, so thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, and soon to be Happy New Year's,
yes,
right?
That's right. Well, and it's interesting you mentioned New Year's resolutions, and
right.
We're all talking about them this time of year, aren't we?
We always do.
And you know, we want to make sure that we're motivated, we want to make sure they're realistic, and it's interesting, the more I think about New Year's resolutions, just in general, the more of a believer I am that I don't like them.
That they're not a good idea.
No, they're really not a good idea. I think they're greatly overrated. They are very unrealistic in terms of who can really commit to something for a year. Statistically, so few that I don't think anyone should bother making New Year's resolutions. And for me, the worst thing about them, I think they set ourselves up for failure. And what happens, it just leads us to being disappointed in ourselves.
And what a horrible way to start the year.
What a horrible way to start the year. Exactly, what a horrible way to feel. And we wouldn't feel that way if we didn't set up these silly, and I really do think they're silly at this point, New Year's resolutions. So for me, nope,
not for you.
No,
yeah.
I'm sure that most people have read that statistics say by the third week, literally between the 21st and 28th of January, 95% of people who have made resolutions have already abandoned them.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, about 5 years ago on my radio show, I had decided that New Year's resolutions not for me. Again, because a year, it's just too unrealistic to think that I could commit to anything for a year's time and stay motivated. So I started doing monthly challenges.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And so I've been doing
that
every month for 5 years now, because I can wrap my arms around a month. I can embrace something. If it's something I'm interested in, something I'm committed to for a month, even I can do that. So monthly challenges for me, yes. Annual, year-long resolutions, no. And again, the main thing I really don't like about them is they set ourselves up for failure, and then we end up feeling bad about ourselves, and that's just the opposite.
Yeah, none of us want to feel like a loser.
Of what we want to do. Exactly.
Well, I like your monthly challenge because every month you get 12 shots instead of the one each year. So
exactly.
It's forgiving. It's more forgiving.
It is forgiving, and you know, science also says that we can form new habits in about 3 to 4 weeks. And so a month, for me, again, is perfect, because if it's something that I'm really committed to and really stick with for those 30 days, there's a very good chance, not a certainty, but there's a very good chance that it will become somewhat of a habit at that point in time. So then I can move on and work on something else that I'm real excited about.
Right. So have you made resolutions in the past?
Yeah. They've never worked for the reason that, and it's interesting, I was talking on my show last week and folks were calling in about New Year's resolutions. Not one person called in and said that they had been able to stick with a resolution for a full year. That's not to say no one's out there. I'm sure there are folks out there who've been successful.
And congrats if you are out there and it's worked.
Big time congrats. So if they've worked for you, then by all means continue. Make sure that they're very realistic, and make sure that you're really motivated. Figure out what it is that is inspiring you to see that resolution through. And if both of those things are true for you, and if you have a good track record with resolutions, go for it, and the best.
All right, you heard it here. Mary Jones from WDRC. Thank you so much for being there.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you as well. Well, you can hear more from Mary. Just head to NBCConnecticut.com and search All That.